Okay, we're trying something new and different here. Little peek behind the scenes of Stupid Wizard. I have been dealing with the hardest writer's block that I think I've ever faced on the channel for like the past 2 weeks. Ever since the MCU video has come out, I have started writing and stopped writing like 5 or 6 different random little video ideas, and I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, because if I'm up and away from my computer and I'm like doing shit around the house or whatever, I can think of script, I can think of what I want to say about the different topics and what I want to do. But then the moment I sit down, I pull up my writing software, I just freeze up. I can't think of what to write. I can't do anything, and I end up falling back on just playing Spider-Man 2 or Slay the Spire or watching random YouTube videos because I'm bored and ADHD crippled, and I need to brute force this. This isn't a writer's block that I can just wait out for it to be over, because at this point I'm gonna put out like, maybe 10 videos this year, and I want to get back into making videos. I have lots of games I want to talk about, including the one in this video, Die in the Dungeon. It's really cool, but every time I open up my script to start writing my thoughts on it, I struggle. So we're gonna try something a little interesting here, where I don't have much of a script. I just kind of have some talking points I've scribbled down, some talking points that are still in my brain rattling around. I'm going to see if I can just put together, let's just see if I can put together a video with some rambly, ranting, off-script stuff. I'm going to try to stay focused and stay on topic. So let's talk about Die in the Dungeon. This is, I will say it now, front and center. Right now, I'll probably put it in the top of the description. This game was gifted to me by the devs over email. They emailed me, they said, hey, we have this indie roguelike coming out at the beginning of May. Do you want a Steam code? And I said, yeah, I like free shit, why not? Give it to me. Die in the Dungeon. It is an indie deck builder roguelike. We've all seen these. If you open up your fridge, you're likely to come across like 5 or 6 of them just waiting for you. This is a genre that I really quite like. A lot of people know that I'm very fond of Balatro, Slay the Spire 2. I've played a little bit of, I'm trying to remember what it was called. I played a bit of Monster Train, and I quite liked it. I think that's what it was called, and I feel bad if that's not the name. I played quite a bit of that and quite enjoyed it too. I love Inscription. Deck building roguelikes are really fun. So to have a game that is similarly to that, it is a deck builder, but you don't use cards, you use dice. Now, when you first hear that, you may think like what I did and think like, what, is it like a tabletop RPG? You roll to see if you do damage and all that? No, not quite. How it works, I'm gonna have it up on screen, is every character you play as has a dice board with all these little slots where you can roll the dice and put them in. You can just roll it and use the values directly for your attacking and your defending and your healing and all that, but there are also boost dice. When you roll them, they boost surrounding dice, as per the name. You roll a 2. That will boost dice by 2, but not all the dice, only the dice that are 2 slots away. And if you roll a 3, it boosts them by 3, but only the ones that are 3 away. If you roll a 1, it boosts them by 1. If they're 1 away, so on and so forth. You know how numbers work. And it becomes this really interesting puzzle where you kind of have to figure out what is the best optimal way to place dice. This isn't something like Inscription, Balatro, Slay the Spire, where you have to play them in a certain order to min-max and get the best out of everything. Instead, you have all the time in the world to figure out how you want to arrange the dice in what order, like spatially, and then you just select and do all of it. And of course, throughout the game, you collect relics and you can get potions and you go along this path. It's very similar to Slay the Spire. I'm aware that's both a good thing because, I like Slay the Spire and its design, but it's also kind of a bad thing because it kind of makes me think, if you were so creative with this dice system, I kind of wish you guys were more diverse with the rest of the game and all that and gave it a little bit more of a unique spin, but I don't know how you would do that. Doesn't matter. Point is, a majority of what you do in combat is based around this dice board system. And there's like a lot of enemies that can fill up slots or make slots worse. And then there's also a bunch of dice that do different things depending on where you place them and in what order and all that. And it just makes for a very engaging kind of battle system that I haven't seen in a roguelike before. The events in this game work very interestingly. This is where it pulls more from directly being like a tabletop RPG. When you get to some events, they will ask you to roll dice, and this is where what dice you get throughout the game matters outside of just the combat. A pillar is going to fall over and you got to defend yourself from it. So it tells you, hey, you're going to have to roll 2 of your best defense dice. And if you've been building some good defense dice, then it's like, oh, it's no problem. I have some really good ones here. But if you don't, then you're kind of screwed. And it does a lot of interesting choices where there are quite a few events where you're going to be picking the lesser of two evils, or all the options are really good. The events in this game are designed really smartly, in my opinion, where, at least off the top of my head, just kind of rambling into the microphone here, I don't remember any events where it was like, yes, I have to pick this because the other options are shit. A lot of the events are interesting choices. You have to sit there and think and kind of weigh your options, and it could be on a deck per deck basis, or it could be how you're feeling, how lucky you feel. And I appreciate that. I love the art style of this game. I really love the pixel art. It looks very good. It's a unique style that I can't say I really can like compare to anything. Like there are a lot of games I can kind of compare each other, even when they have unique art styles. I can be like, well, that's derivative of that, whatever. Dying the Dungeon, I can't say I've played a game that quite looks like this in terms of the actual style. So that's like a big up for me. It's a very unique style. It almost looks like, 16-bit era pixel art, but it's very smooth, and there's a lot more colors and a lot more like sub-pixel animation going on than what the SNES or GBA ever did. So, take that as you will. Hi, editing wizard here. I'm gonna cut off normal wizard because I realized something while watching back this footage. I know what this art style reminds me of. It reminds me of those old Super Nintendo emulator filters that would like times to it, but good. It looks good. I promise it looks good. But as I'm watching back this footage, I'm like, oh, it looks like those. It looks like that, but good. It looks like that, but intentional. Okay, back to the other wizard ranting. The music is great. I'm gonna add a few of the tracks to my stream playlist. Plug streams. I'm live every Twitch. Maybe I'll play Dying the Dungeon at some point on stream. Anyway, on to the bad of Dying the Dungeon. It doesn't have a lot bad. I think a lot of the bad in this game is more so just things that I assume and hope will be ironed out in future updates. The combat can get a little repetitive, and also because of the very unique way the dice board works, combat can be very slow, especially when you have to constantly reread what certain dice do, because in a thing that's a genuine pet peeve to me, once you've placed a dice on the board, you can no longer like hover over it to see what it does, and that really upsets me because there's sometimes I'll place it down and I need to double check the wording, and I need to double check like what's it saying. You gotta pop it back out and read it and pop it back in. It's like, it's a little annoying, and it's small quirks like that where it's hard to read what certain dice do and certain things do once there's a lot going on. That slows the game down a lot. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but unlike something like Slay the Spire, once you've like gotten the hang of Slay the Spire, you can typically beat a run in like half an hour. Even though I've gotten the hang of Dying the Dungeon and I'm going through combat about as quickly as I can, some runs are still taking 45 plus minutes, and it's not necessarily a case of it's a deep engrossing 45 minutes. It's a case of some of the battles just can last really long because of the enemies you're fighting and because of how the dice system works just inherently. I still love the system. It's a very unique way of handling combat and dice rolling and all that, especially with all the relics and special effects you can get throughout the game that can really just pop off and let you do cool shit. I'm just saying that if you are more impatient than me, you may not like this game. Then again, I've gone off saying that I'm a very impatient gamer, and yet I was able to sit and listen for this game. Dying the Dungeon is speaking. Sit and listen. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Dying the Dungeon. Like, overall, I think it's a good game. It's a game you should try, name of the video. And, I'm gonna kind of try and experiment with more videos like this, these more laid back, just simple little, hey, I want to talk about a game I'm playing. Should you try it? Should you stay away from it? Unless everyone hates this video and it's cast into the sun, and then the devs of Dying the Dungeon tell me you did a bad job covering this game, then I won't do these. But it was kind of fun to just put together a video where I just ramble and rant, and I don't script, and I don't plan it out. It's just kind of it just happens. These aren't going to replace normal videos, I promise. I'm still going to do those, don't worry. So if you do prefer the videos where I sit and talk about like 20 licensed movie games and one whole thing, and there's only one game that's good in them, don't worry, those are still gonna happen. I still have videos planned. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, comment below, say you liked it, share it around. I promise this isn't just some call to action. It really does help the video a lot. If you leave a comment, even if you just comment the word "but," it tells YouTube I'm doing a good job or something. I don't fucking know. If you didn't like it, comment anyways. Tell me what you didn't like, and then I can either take it as constructive criticism or just think you're an asshole and ignore you. But you commented anyway, so thanks for that. See you all whenever the next video comes out. Maybe it'll be another one of these, and it's about fucking Spider-Man 2, or maybe it'll be about Bowser's Inside Story, or whatever game I pick out of my ass next. Bye-bye.